Hey everyone, welcome back to my tip series on 30 days to sobriety success. This is tip number 26, and this tip is called how to be sober around drunk people and enjoy it. Okay, so, I talk about drunk people, but this can be a little broader in a sense that if any sort of substance addiction would be applicable here, right? So if you struggle with a substance, you get sober, you fight your addiction and you're good, and you feel like you want to go back and hang out with those same people. So most of the time that's not a great idea, okay? I talk a lot about that in the Sobriety Success method and, learning how to change your social situations. But there are going to be times where you are going to be in situations where you will be around drunk people, and I use alcohol because that's the most common because it's legal. And it's really hard to avoid drunk people, okay? So let's say, you're in a situation where you're at a family party or a family get-together. You are maybe with some friends or a wedding or whatever it is, right? And people are drinking, and there's going to be two things that are going to happen. One, you're either going to feel triggered and you're going to want to drink, and that's dangerous for your sobriety. Or two, you're going to feel like you're just not having any fun at all. And I want you to be able to start to think about these things and reevaluate situations, okay? So one thing you want to think about before being around drunk people, when you know that there is going to be drinking or drugs or whatever, is that situation going to be worth going at all, okay? Now, sometimes there's going to be situations where you'll be like, oh, yeah, me not being there really won't make a difference, and it's really not worth it, and I can skip this and everything's gonna be fine. But then there's gonna be other times where you might need to be there. It could be like a wedding or a funeral, a friend's birthday party, or whatever. And I think in recovery, nobody's saying to completely not be friends with anybody who's drinking, right? Because it's just so common that you are going to be in situations where other people are drinking. Okay, so you've got that first part, right? You're questioning whether or not you should go or if you shouldn't. And if the answer is yes, then you should go, okay? You need to have a certain level of expectation of what is actually going to be fun. So my advice to you is to choose the time wisely, okay? So for example, let's say somebody is having a party and it starts at 4 o'clock and it goes until whenever, okay? From experience that there comes a time where people go from being, loosey-goosey, having a good time, to being completely drunk, and that may not be something that you enjoy, being completely sober around completely drunk people, okay? So choosing your time wisely means you might be the first to the party, and that's okay, right? Be the first one there and then the first one to leave when you know that people are starting to cross that threshold, right? So that's the first part of it. And then the second part of it is to really just kind of figure out what fun means to you, right? So being social with people at the right time when they're not completely wasted, that might be fun to you because it's, you're getting a real connection, whereas you talking to a drunk person is not going to be very fun. So having the expectation of what fun actually means versus what drunk people think fun is going to make a big difference. And so there's that. And so when you go out and you're with drunk people, just kind of keep this in mind. Remember, okay, when they're drinking and they get to a point of where, that drunken behavior, just try to remember too the following day, okay, you're going to wake up, you're not going to have a hangover, they're going to have a hangover, and that's going to be where your fun begins, right? You'll be able to do so much more the next day, whereas when everyone else is healing and having a hangover and spending the day in bed. So that's my tip for you. Bye, everyone.